Crybaby Podcast.
What's going on? It's Taco Tuesday.
Tuesday, episode number 2. Last week we had technical difficulties, and so we ended up missing that. But man, it's been a rough little stretch of days. We went out this weekend, and I don't know what happened, man.
Yeah, man. Doran was gone. He was out of there. It was a fun little weekend. Our buddy came down from wherever he was in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Really, he wanted to just show us his girlfriend. And honestly, if we actually uploaded the last week's episode, you guys would have been like, "Wow, that makes sense," you know. And so the whole reason I went down there was to see him, and the whole reason we went out was to see him and celebrate his presence there. But really, it was just him and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Kind of disappointing.
They look cute. I feel like
they look cute together. They look photogenic.
They're still in the honeymoon stage, though. They're still
tall black guy, little Asian, you know. So,
dude, that's like a Louisianan like relationship. I don't know if you've ever been to Louisiana, but that's like.
I've typical. Kind of been to Louisiana. I don't know if that's. I didn't know that was typical though.
Yeah, that kind of ties into a couple different topics that we're going to be speaking about today. We're going to be talking about dating in the 21st century, and hopefully we don't have it's not a dog shit conversation like it was last week. But yeah, no, we've got some cool topics. I think I'm done. I'm done drinking, bro.
Done drinking.
I think that is out of the question.
I don't know. It's different. Well, you're not done. I know that, but it's just I see two different Dorans when you drink, and it depends on the location.
Keep it.
What? No, I'll be nice. It's like I said. I made the little I don't know. I made the little
distinction.
It was a comparison distinction, you know, and I was like, Doran in San Antonio, when he drinks, the unk comes out of him. And Doran in College Station, in the college environment, when he drinks, you're more lively and able to last longer. So I don't know what happens. I really don't. But if anyone ever has experienced Doran when he's getting drunk in San Antonio, you know what I mean.
Dude, it's just the liquor, bro. The liquor got to me, man. I need to just seriously consider what I'm doing whenever I start drinking liquor.
Well, you have to pace yourself. Just pace. You pace yourself, and then you just take it easy. You remember it's a marathon, not a race.
But see, there's social aspects to drinking too. There's social aspects like, hey, all the buddies are here, man. It's a pregame. We have limited time before the Uber gets here. I need to I'm in that FOMO stage where I'm like, I need to get as much drinking in now because
honestly, man, the whole point of it is like you do the shots with everybody.
Yeah,
you know, and actually, it was just you.
No, I would just get. I'd get different people every time, so I could find an excuse to take a shot.
You're like, shot, and they're like, and then I go up there with you, you know.
Yeah,
but
and then you'll take a shot, and then I'll go and ask J-Con like 5 minutes later. Hey, J-Con, let's go.
I took a decent amount of shots too, and I just wasn't there with you, man. I don't know. I wish I could lose control like you did, or do.
Dude, it was bad.
I don't know if I ate. Yeah. Well, anyways.
Yeah, no, drinking is out of the question. I think maybe we should, at least me personally, might not drink until Arkansas, bro. I think I'm gonna keep it on the down low until then.
Keep it on the DL.
Maybe go to church. Maybe repent. I
considered going back to mass the other day. I felt really bad. I don't know why I felt so bad, but I felt like something was missing, and then I just didn't want to get up early in the morning, so I didn't go. Well, usually mass in the recent past has been a social event, and I would always go with my cousin and his friends because my cousin's a real devout Catholic, and I would go for their presence. I would go to look connected, you know.
Yeah.
But now that he's gone, and there were a few more Catholics that were there around that offered to go with me to service, but most of the time they were chicks, and so I didn't want to go to mass with a girl, and it seemed like it was anything more than that. So
yeah, no, I feel like that's a big step, like going to mass with a chick. Because it's
to
not.
some it might be.
Yeah, I mean, just y'all two. Like, if y'all are in a
Yeah,
Bible
just us
study,
two in mass, So,
dude, I feel like that has to be a bigger step. I feel like it's more of a commitment than.
It might be, but I could definitely see it being you're going casually to mass because you were both devout Catholics and you just so happen. Now we're speaking strictly on if you're hooking up with this person. Yeah, and
But
so
if they're like a devout Catholic, are they hooking up before marriage? Is that part of that piece of the puzzle right here? I mean, what's going on?
devout Catholic as in, yeah, who knows? The criteria for that is kind of all over the place, but they're very much so into the theology, except for that part, except for the part where I have to have sex before marriage. That's usually how it is
Yeah,
with most
they'll make an
Catholics.
exception. Like, hey,
Yeah, that's
that's the
definitely how it is.
difference between like Islam and like Christianity. Like if there's a rule in Islam, like actually, I guess a lot of people like in the West make exceptions, like especially for like alcohol and tattoos and stuff like that in Sharia law. That's really frowned upon. But like, you'll never see a Muslim dude like eating pork or fucking, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, like some of these like Christians and Catholics, they're like, you know what, we could have some sex before marriage,
We could
and
have some
blah blah
sex.
blah, and
We
it's
can
cool.
drink
No,
because drinking's not bad. Getting
they're a little
drunk,
more lax on some of the rules. That's what I was gonna say.
and the impulsive desire to lose control are both synonymous with each other in the severity of their sin. So, but it's just there's weird little distinctions. Obviously, Catholicism is way more relaxed, as some might say, than Islam and in certain sects of Judaism.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's a
That
good
kind of,
question. I mean, that's a good thing
yeah,
to address. Why so many Catholics have sex before marriage?
yeah. I think it's just maybe that it's like more intertwined with the West, and Western cultures are more
Right,
lax and liberal.
rules for thee, but not for me.
Yeah. And so, well, we're actually going to kind of touch on that later. We're going to be discussing the Antichrist. So, kind of something a little bit, I
Directly
don't know.
correlated.
Yeah, yeah. But first, we're going to get into some football, some ball knowledge. We had a cool slate of games. The Cowboys game ended in a tie. That was a great game, but
I
bullshit
didn't
rules.
even watch it, but why do NFL games end in ties?
I think it's just Roger Goodell going in there and fucking being a terrorist. I think he just wants to ruin fun. Hey, how do we get rid of fun in this game? Hey, nobody can hit anybody anymore? Yeah, let's make that a rule.
Maybe it makes it easier to rig the playoffs in the end,
Dude, that I wouldn't put it past that guy. He does not. I think he just hates people. And then obviously Drake May with the Patriots went nuts, and they put belt to ass with the Carolina Panthers. They really fucked them. I think Drake May is potentially an MVP candidate. If he he'll be in the conversation if he goes to Buffalo and dethrones Josh Allen this weekend. That'll really be in the cards.
Isn't the general manager or the owner one of the two? Aren't they real good friends with Netanyahu? The Patriots?
Yeah, Robert Kraft. So he actually, I think he was the first. I didn't do any research on this topic before the podcast, but we were considering it, and Robert Kraft actually sold, I think it was an 8% stake of the Patriots, one of the first NFL teams, after they basically said that private equity can take stakes in NFL teams now. So NFL teams have all either been publicly owned with the Green Bay Packers, or they've been privately owned, but it has to be a family, like one person, right? And so Jerry owns Robert Kraft with the Patriots, but now they're like, private equity has always wanted to get in on that game because it's lucrative. I mean, these teams are so profitable, and so they want to get in on it, but they haven't really let him participate yet. But they recently allowed a minority stake, allowed for private equity to own. And so Robert Kraft, I think he was the first to sell. I forgot who he sold to, but the person he sold to, the private equity group, has ties with Israel, or allegedly. Like, I think there's something around there.
That's scary stuff, man.
I mean, they really have a lot of influence in a lot of different industries, and so I wouldn't put it past him. Yeah, to put it past them to want.
They're just suckers for the Western culture,
dude. Yeah, I feel like I don't know if you've seen Uncut Gems.
I have. It's a great movie. I have a friend who, it's not unusual to like an Adam Sandler movie or like Adam Sandler. Like maybe it's a little drawn out, the older movies, but they're always classics that you can go back to, especially Adam Sandler, Will Ferrell, kind of movies like that, older 2000s movies. But my friend found out that Adam Sandler is just, well, it's always been kind of known that he's a Jew. I always thought it's pretty known, but he found out that he's just like a Jew, a Jew with a capital J, right? And so now he hates Adam Sandler, and he proclaimed that he's never going to watch an Adam Sandler movie again. And
dude,
I just thought that was doing a little too much. Maybe it's performative, but I could also see him not being an outlier to being performative, and he just truly has a distaste for Jewish people. But that's going a little too far. I love Adam Sandler. I always love him.
Dude, Adam Sandler I feel like he's one of the, like, I don't know. You could turn on any Adam Sandler movie, and like even the shitty ones, they're like,
you can kind of enjoy it.
Bad, like they're bad enough to be good. Like,
right.
This is so shitty. I'm watching Grown Ups 2. Like, there isn't a clear theme. There really isn't even a plot. These characters are just like walking from scene to scene and just doing whatever the fuck. And okay, let's do this. Let's have a glass of wine. Let's watch this shit.
Right.
But
absolutely.
And then he goes into Uncut Gems, and he's really good. So I don't know. I always loved Adam Sandler. I haven't done any research into him, but yeah, no. The big thing is that the Giants, before this weekend, Russell Wilson was the quarterback of the New York Giants, and he has led them to a disappointing 0-3 record. So Brian Daboll, the head coach, he decided it's out with Russell Wilson. Bye-bye. And it's going to be Jackson Dart from Ole Miss, their first round draft pick. And he went in there and fucking dropped the bag. I think he
looked good.
He's cold. Like, I mean, obviously, and then during the game, Malik Neighbors, one of their top wide receivers, he ends up getting a torn ACL, and so it's just straight tragic.
Oh no, yeah, him, Tyreek. Jeez, man, we had some losses this week with ACLs. It's a bunch of ACL injuries. It's always ACLs.
Well, have you seen the thing with like the MetLife Field conspiracy?
Oh, that too. Yeah, MetLife is taking a lot of victims. It's not even really
a conspiracy at this point. Like, maybe it's, I don't know, but like the amount of people that have gotten injuries at the MetLife Stadium field is crazy. It's like just a laundry list of
so now what are the Giants going to do with their number one wide receiver? Who they've got there? They've got what's that tight end you like? Theo?
Oh yeah, Theo Johnson. He actually might be getting more targets now. It's going to be Wan'Dale Robinson. He's like a veteran, and then Darius Slayton. So Darius Slayton is going to be taking a bigger role. Yeah, I mean, they're obviously, some pickup options on the waiver wire, but I think they're just going to really slow down on the passing game, because like other than Malik Neighbors, they don't really have fucking weapons, like people that can go out there and actually play the fucking game and sit people down. And so they don't have a Justin Jefferson, they don't have a Jamar Chase. So like without Neighbors, they're just going to focus on running it more. And they have fucking Cam Scattaboo to go in there, lower his fucking shoulder, and just
boom,
truck motherfuckers
straight into anybody he sees in his path. Gone.
He's cool. I like him.
No, he's impressive to watch. I mean, yes, that's impressive. I would say that's impressive because he has no regard for his life. And someone who has no regard for their life, that takes a lot of, whether it takes absolutely like a kernel of competence, or he's actually a really smart guy and somehow rationalize what he's doing through a real nuanced web of thoughts, right?
Dude, I see them in interviews, and it's just hilarious. Like, he looks like a fucking hog rider there. He's just
literally.
Yeah.
Like, literally. He's trucking through dudes. It's really fun to watch him play.
His brain is already gone. Like, the CTE
his brain is
already
gone.
in place.
You see him. Yeah, so I think I'm leaning more to this way. He's got a.
But you need more people like that. Like, it's a gladiator sport. This is a modern day gladiator sport.
It is. Yeah, you should not. It's not. We're not supposed to be playing. Salary cap. We're not supposed to be playing like how much can I get out of the NFL and get injured and not play, right? We really want to see people running at each other and trying to kill each other, and there's all these safety concerns, et cetera, et cetera. Well, that's the nature of the game. It's a violent sport.
It's literally it's the sport was designed this way, and like you can change out the helmets, you could add a guardian cap, you could change kickoffs, but like at the end of the day, it's gonna be two fucking 300-pound like grown men running into each other.
Yeah, and you do the shit that they do to each other in real life, and that's assault, battery. You can list them. So many torts.
Yeah, it's like a bread and circuses display, for the populace to really engage with this stuff so they don't go out and commit crimes on their own.
Great ball, sports ball. I'm a big sports ball guy.
Sports ball and drink your beer and eat your wings on your weekend, and then you go back to the factory on Monday.
But it's fun. It's fun.
It is fun. It is fun. It's cool.
Especially fantasy.
No, I love fantasy. Like that's like I was never big into football, but after fantasy, it's like it gets my competitive drive kind of going. I like that aspect of it, where you can actually beat people if you put the time and effort into researching good players.
So what do you think about this trade I just made? Jamar Chase, what was it? Jamar Chase, I got Jamar and Hunter Henry for Brock Bowers.
I think you fleeced him.
Lad McConkey.
Fleeced him.
Yeah. You think so?
Lad McConkey is a wide receiver 3. If you watch any of the games, Quentin Johnston really just took over. Like
he did.
Yeah, I don't know what he did over the offseason. Like, dude must have
learned how to catch the ball.
Yeah, I don't know. He made a deal.
I mean, if you watched him last year, and this is why, because the guy I was trading with originally, he wanted Quentin Johnson, and I was like, "There's no way. There's no way I'm just like
that's he's one of those wide receiver.
No, he's one of those players that I'm just no matter what you're offering me, I'm not gonna give him away because I have an endowment towards him. So I picked him up last year because he was a first round pick and supposedly he was gonna do great. He did not do great at all. He dropped the ball a gajillion times. And so then this year comes around, I'm first in the waiver wire priority, and Quentin Johnson did great. So I'm just like, screw it, I'm gonna pick him up. Whatever. This guy, it might be inconsistent. It's week 1. But I just feel like personally attached to him. Just like
I picked you out. Like you were my little gem, and I found you, and now you're
my willingness to accept is much higher than my willingness to pay. So
and I think he's really flourished. I don't know what he did over the offseason, but he has taken over the wide receiver 1 role. Keenan Allen has came in there and taken over the wide receiver 2 role. And so, man, I think Lad McConkey, I mean, he's still good. Like, Lad McConkey is he's not shitty, but
no, he's a good wide receiver. Yeah. It's just, man, there's a lot of competition with Johnston and Allen.
Yeah.
And if you watch him play, I mean, McConkey has dropped a few passes, but he's also been just covered.
They just haven't included him in a lot of
Well, he draws defense. What he's been doing is drawing defense away from Johnston and Allen.
Yeah. So it might switch. It might switch later on, and then Jamar Chase, if they end up trading for a QB, you'll be fine with that. But until then, he's kind of shitty.
Regardless, Jamar Chase is putting up more fantasy points per week than McConkey.
Yeah. And so that's free. And then Hunter Henry's doing the same thing with Brock Bowers, and Brock Bowers is secretly hurt. And so they want to keep playing him, but he has a robo leg on. He has this huge cast thing on his leg that he plays with, and man, it's not looking good. I think there's something deeper. So that was a good trade from you, but honestly, I upheld it the minute I saw it because I was like, fuck Mac. This guy in our league, he's way too good. He has Puka, he has Jonathan Taylor. It's just he needs to get nerfed. And he had Jamar Chase. So but no, that was a good trade. I think the Giants, they're going to be a fun team to watch. They might not be the best, but they're going to be fun to watch.
they're painful to watch sometimes. The Jets, Fields, my man Fields, he went
He's
off.
been good.
Yeah,
he's been good. Yeah, I think him. It's either like feast or famine. He's either just popping off, or he's because he can run the ball, but like, or it's just cancer to watch him. Like,
yeah,
it's sad.
Geno Smith was horrible to watch.
Yeah,
oh my goodness,
poor
I hated watching him. Poor GT. Oh,
yeah.
GT guy over here.
Drafted GT in the second round before
Finally.
Puka, and
I drafted Ladin Brock before Puka.
I know, yeah. So looking back at it now, but when we were drafting, like I don't know if like around the draft time, people were saying that that Matthew Stafford is hurt, and so that if he didn't have Matthew Stafford, it's like Jamar Chase not having Joe Burrow. Like it's instantly just boom, like your production is fucked. And so
I also thought that Puka's injury prone.
Yeah.
I just wasn't willing to take that risk so early in the rounds.
Yeah. No, same. And so I don't know. Max took a bet and he won. But
he did.
But fantasy's been doing good, man. Hopefully the Giants do real well. Man, I really want to see them do well because I love the dynamic between Scat Pack and Dart. I think they're pretty cool. But transitioning on, we're going to be going to our second story of the day. This happened earlier today. I saw it announced last week. So basically, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, and Donald J. Trump, they basically
Secretary of War.
Yeah. No, Secretary of War now, guys. But they summoned the entire top military leadership to Washington for an in-person meeting. And so these are different admirals, generals, leaders in the Air Force. And so these people are all throughout the world. This is kind of a security risk to put all these people in the same place at one time. These people are in the submarines. These people are manning the nuclear weapon silos in Montana. And so he brought everybody in. And so and the only time this has been done before, I believe, was in the Iraq War, right before the invasion of Iraq. And I believe World War II. And so there was a lot of press going into this, basically saying, what's going to happen? Are we going to war with Venezuela? Are we going to war with Iran? Like an actual boots on the ground war. But no, they ended up going to this meeting, and it ended up being kind of a pep rally type thing. It was more of a DEI. It was basically,
are you with us or are you not with us?
yeah, kind of, and so people thought, hey, we're going to be going in here and speaking on something
important.
Yeah. But he ended up bringing up multiple different points, such as dropping DEI in the
sometimes a woman can't do a man's job.
And this needs to, and then also that that he doesn't want fat generals anymore, and so there has to be.
Hey, I mean, I can get behind that.
No, yeah, like that's a good.
I do not like fat people. I mean, no offense, fat people, but anyways.
No, yeah, like, dude, if you're gonna lead a whole battalion, might as well be a little bit slimmer. But and then also he was saying that the big thing that people kind of stuck on was that if you don't agree with anything that we said, there's the door. And so you could leave. And this was heavily emphasized. And so people are signaling, they're thinking that this is a greater signal for, if you're not on board for what's about to go down, then there's the door, basically. He sent out a memo a while back saying that he's planning on axing 20% of the top brass in the military. So 20% of the top generals, admirals across all branches are going to get cut. And he basically signaled a strategic shift in the U.S. from focusing on foreign wars, focus on interventionist wars, to more domestic problems. So a quote from him, it's the enemy from within, and we have to handle it before it gets out of control. So he said that at the meeting
what
earlier.
is so problematic domestically that the Department of Defense, Department of War needs to get involved in? I mean, I understand that Trump has really utilized the National Guard to curb crime and in DC. What he sent in the did he send him to Baltimore? I don't know. Those policies have been moderately effective. So I've seen. I've heard anecdotal evidence, and I've also seen statistically crime go down. But what is so pressing that the department? Now, of course, I'm not a big fan of interventionism and foreign wars, which is great. Pull everyone back.
Yeah.
But what's the objective? What's the clear objective? What are you trying to say? Are
Yeah.
you is this all for show? What is this? It's like you said, is this a signal for what's to come? Or is this really just as a performance? Because he's a very much so a performer.
Yeah.
As is many of the figures in the Trump administration.
Well, so yeah, I mean, like the point you said earlier, I'm a total, anti-interventionist as well. I don't think we should be invading Iraq for oil. I don't think we should be invading Vietnam to stop the spread of communism. This American imperialism has fucked our budgets. It's killed a bunch of U.S. kids. People our age would go and fight in fucking Vietnam and like Iraq and shit. And that's how you see people shooting up schools now, and it's because they had PTSD from Iraq, from IEDs and shit. But yeah, I mean, so that intervention is no,
sure.
well, yeah, no. The guy that shot up the Latter-day Saint church. But anyway, so yeah, no, I mean, I'm not a fan of these interventionism or whatever, but when you're focusing these troops into domestic issues, what do you mean by that? Are you positioning yourself for a coup potentially? Or
that's my dream. That is my dream. But
so but how would that, the thing is, you have to think, if you were planning a coup, this is what you do. You know what I mean?
You'd
start to consolidate the military,
right? You start to you want to trim the fat, basically give everyone a message. Like I remember. I mean, there's tons.
If you're not loyal.
There's tons of instances of political cleansing or quelling. And then it's the same way with military organizations or military governments transitioning from a democratic to a more authoritarian system of government. You have to cut the numbers, and you definitely have to know who's with you and who's not with you. And if you're not with them, step out of the room and we'll shoot you in the back.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's very extreme for the United States, and I don't think it would ever come to anything like that. At least not now. Who's to say maybe in 70 years, but which would be cool. History is cyclical. So we could one day see the return of more authoritarian structures, and I don't think that's very far off. With a growing population, you definitely have more need to exert control of your population, as we've seen with China. Of course, you have to have a balance of those things. State capitalism, for instance. But we may see the return of monarchs, et cetera, et cetera. But that's all up to your imagination, right? So I'm not sure what the implication.
We need authoritarianism, or else we'll fall by the wayside. We'll lose in the technological race. Our budgets will go out of control, and we'll hyperinflate our money. We need somebody to come in and save the whole system and to fix it all. But I don't think so. I feel like we were able to solve it in the Great Depression. Like, we had the worst fucking economic calamity in our history, and somehow we made it as a democracy. But if you look in the past, this isn't the norm at all, really. You could even go back into ancient times. Ancient Rome was a republic, and then Caesar took over, and Augustus Caesar went in and consolidated power, and it was transformed into an empire. Same thing with the Weimar Republic in Germany. There was an economic disaster. You had a charismatic figure rise, and then basically enact a coup and transformed the Weimar Republic into the Third Reich. And so this happens, and it's really the norm in history. The the exception to the norm was what happened with the US in the Great Depression, where we were able to get out of this economic calamity and maintain our democracy. And so
people are very quick. I mean, the United States is an oddball. The West is an oddball in general when it comes to pulling themselves up and resorting matters, solving problems. There's a lot of history embedded in the East. There's a lot of history embedded in Europe. People are very emotional. Things are flared, and they're very quick to do stuff. And so, with the West, with the exploration of the West and the United States, it's a completely different animal, and it's been an experiment since the very beginning. Because this is very, I don't want to say non-traditional, but it's definitely a step away from the past 700, 800 years or so, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, authoritarianism is the norm across the board. If you go back even to like ancient Sumerians, like they had kings, and then you go to medieval Europe and they had lords, and you see a big change around the age of mercantilism, and then you had an even bigger change at the end of the Industrial Revolution. And so maybe we're in a different age now and it requires different governance, but humans do have a tendency.
It does, because of the economic necessity of everything.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's what I think. I really align with you on the view that economics drives everything. And so
it really does. Yeah. And I mean, you see with industrialization, you had to move from a less feudal system of governing, and that's when property rights really took foot, right? Because without property rights, we wouldn't be where we are today economically. And so you'll see that when Russia tried to industrialize, it was very hard for them because they were still stuck on that feudal system for quite some time. And so when Europe is pretty much fully industrialized, Russia is just beginning to unfeudalize because they understand the necessity of property rights, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. And so that's why the economics of that necessitated communism or their authoritarian means of controlling the means of production. And so you're not going to, in a democracy, you're not going to forcibly remove people from their farmland, or you're not going to aggressively redistribute foodstuffs from the bread basket.
You do it with a lot of steps.
Yeah. It's harder. It's harder because the people have a vote. And so they're not going to vote against their interest the majority of the time. But so we're seeing a real switch, and potentially, I think right now, I know this is hard to say, and leftists have been saying this about the right for a while, and it's kind of lost its sting, its punch. Like they've been calling people fascists for forever, and it kind of ruined it. Oh, you're racist, you're fascist, blah blah, this and that, because you voted for Trump. What? No. But some of these steps, where you're bringing the military together and saying, hey guys, I mean, maybe it doesn't happen now, but just know, here is where your loyalty has to stand. If not, there's the door. Like that is if you look at it from a totally objective point of view, if I told you this wasn't in the US, you would think it was in Russia or China. Like
that's how. Like, but think about it like this: that kind of situation happens in almost every environment where someone's trying to consolidate power.
Yeah.
And the only difference here is it's the government, it's the state. It's the hand that feeds a lot of people, and it's the hand that writes the rules. And so that's why there's so much of an emphasis on it. I mean, you'll see a lot in corporate workplaces, especially on the board of directors. They're very much so interlinked with one another. And, in order to cut the red tape, everyone just moves together in unison. And so that's obviously been that's been the vibe here with the Trump administration altogether. I don't like it at all. It's very much so, I'm going to put you in power because you did me a favor here, right? But you have to absolutely listen to me. And if you don't, you're cut. And so it's definitely, I mean, it's concerning for sure. But I don't think that they are inclined to instate some sort of authoritarian government or a coup d'etat. It's more just like I am taking advantage of the cards that I was played.
I just want to get a little bit more power, but not really upend the entire system and cause it like
right. I'm using the system.
Yeah. Like I'm trying to work within the system, but still, like even in uh like your example, corporate structures. Like sometimes you have corporate raiders come in, and like for example with BP, they were focusing a lot on renewables. They were losing a ton of money. BP, the oil and gas exploration company from Britain, they were focusing a ton on renewables, and they weren't making any money because guess what? They're a fucking oil company. Like, come on, like you can't switch to making wind farms and fucking solar panels. Like, let's be real. And so they had a minority buy out a ton of their shares and go into their board meetings and cut a lot of the renewable executives, the executives that push for these renewable positions, and then they reinstated their oil and gas mission. And so, yeah, you see this stuff happen a lot of the time. It's just crazy that it's happening in the U.S. That's an elected democracy. It's tough. I think
it's just never been so much more overt and clear and cut than it has now. And
maybe during FDR when he was like, "I'll pack the courts,
sure,
and I'll
but
fucking do it." Like,
but he was just. Yes, you're right. It is kind of synonymous with that, but it's just. I mean, this happens all the time. Mm-hmm. This has always happened, and you should always want to be in bed with the government. So,
well, so that kind of leads into our third topic. It's kind of in that same realm as well.
Fascination with the Antichrist.
Yeah, Peter Thiel has been going fucking crazy lately, and I'm not saying going crazy, but he's been touring the U.S. and he's been giving a 4-part lecture series on the Antichrist. Peter Thiel is a billionaire investor. He mainly invests in tech companies. He got his first break on PayPal. He worked on it with Elon Musk. And then from there, he went to start his own VC fund and invest in companies like Palantir, SpaceX, Tesla. And so, I mean, and it's been real lucrative for him. He's made a lot of money. And so, he's a smart guy. He understands how the world works. Went to Stanford, got a JD from Stanford, and but lately he's been kind of on a little tirade. First of all, these lectures are all private, and so he's done lectures in the past, but he's been kind of pushed in the limelight recently, and especially with this Antichrist stuff, and he's kind of getting a ton of political and social backlash. I mean, obviously, but I think he makes not a good point, but he isn't making the point that people think he's making. Oh, Peter Thiel, you're the Antichrist. What? I don't
think he doesn't know what he's talking about half the time. He's just spewing whatever's on his mind.
Well, I think he thinks his entire mantra basically is that we haven't had any technological progress since the 1970s. We have been totally stagnant, which is it's kind of true. But we have had it's information technology.
I think we've had quite a bit of technological progress. I mean, even today we see something new in technology every single day. I think maybe the point that he's getting at is there hasn't been something to revolutionize our infrastructure. There hasn't been something to really revolutionize anything like the information age.
I mean, you speak to somebody in the 1890s and you tell them, hey, this is what it's going to be like in the 1950s. You're going to have these things called cars. You're going to have a microwave. You're going to have a fridge. Like, this is totally revolutionary. But if you tell someone in the 50s to go to 1990 and, hey, everything will be mostly the same, but you'll have a computer. Like,
I mean, it's not mostly the same. There is a lot more culturally that has changed. Everything is way more efficient.
Yeah. They've perfected these things. Yeah,
everything has been perfected, but to that point, the West, you could say, has plucked a lot of the low-hanging fruit. And for that reason, we haven't seen an explosion to where like someone in the 90s, you meet someone, you tell someone in the 90s, or you give them a day in the life of a person in the 90s, day in the life of someone in 2025. Like, wow, everything looks a little different. It's different, but everything is kind of principally the same. It's in the direction we thought we were going.
Yeah.
Right.
Or like people make also the argument, like in regards with the low hanging fruit, that this is just the path of technological progress. And
yes, exactly.
Maybe
And
this is
yes,
just what happens. And then you go and you develop smartphones, and from there you use that data to develop artificial intelligence, and then the artificial intelligence goes and develops the nuclear fusion reactors, develops the new nanotechnology, develops that, you know what I mean? And so maybe this is just the path of progress, quote unquote. And so,
I mean, it seems to be, if you think about it logically or theoretically, we're going to do everything in our power to maximize our own welfare, as we've done, and historically that is evident. Now, there may be an argument where, because of these technological revolutions, that our capacity to really think and engineer and use critical thinking has
slowed,
has dwindled, or we don't capitalize on it because there's so much around us to do that for us.
Yeah.
And at that point, you could really ask questions like, is this the right technological path? Using that perspective, if you're coming at it from that perspective. If not, it's unknown, and this may be the right way to go because we are maximizing economic welfare.
Yeah. So he says, from what I've read, basically that we need to do whatever we can to avoid this path that you're talking about right now. This path is what he would call the Antichrist.
And so what's his ideal path?
So his ideal path is where we fully embrace technological progress. We break down all regulations. We make investment into technology extremely easy. We motivate our workforce to only work in scientific fields perpetuating.
So he's just an idealist that's in sunshine and butterfly camp.
And so, but he says by doing this, you'll unlock total freedom. You'll unlock total whatever, which I kind of understand. I understand to a certain point, but you said,
exactly, I can understand it, but it's utter bullshit.
Yeah, technologists would say, "Oh my gosh, the nuclear revolution changed. We're going to have unlimited energy, blah blah, this and that." But then they realized, wow, these fission reactors, a byproduct of making energy in these fission reactors is plutonium, and we could use this plutonium to make nuclear weapons. And so maybe we shouldn't fully use nuclear energy everywhere. And that's kind of why progress in that direction is slowed. And so he thinks we should have just dropped the safety concerns as a whole and ran full steam ahead into the technology. And so he argues that we're going on that side of kind of, I don't want to say regulation, but on control and on full freedom of technological progress. We're leaning more and consistently going more into the control side. And so we're kind of going to go into a nanny state where everything is extremely safe, where you aren't going to have to worry about economic problems like worry about shelter or worry about eating. You won't have to worry about medicine or anything, but you'll be happy and you'll be at home, but you won't have true freedom, and there won't be true technological innovations happening all the time. And so
I think I mean I get where he's coming from. It's just he's throwing technology behind it, and he probably has a real big fascination with futuristic idealism. And when you put artificial intelligence, you put the future, you put technology, you put progress, all behind your mantra, like you said, it makes it come off a lot. It's almost glimmering when you look at it. It's attractive. It's loaded. It's going to garner attention.
Yeah,
and that is something that he's definitely held on to and has continued to stay consistent with that theme. And it has brought him success. It has brought him attention, and he is getting his viewpoint across. But there are a lot of deficiencies within what he's and problems within what he's preaching.
No, right? Yeah, I mean, I think the same way. I lean more onto the tech side of it, where come on, like let's unleash the scientists, right, or whatever. But there are, with every new technology, there is like the other side of the coin where it could be used for evil, and
right, and that's part of science. And
yeah, like
I will say there is quite a bit. It's innovation is tricky, definitely in the 21st century with a lot of patenting. You can't just go into your garage and whip something up. I mean, you think that until someone does it, right? You just never know. But to really get those big scale experiments underway, you have to have a lot of funding. You have to have credible people with you. To even be recognized, you have to have some sort of credibility. Mm-hmm. So now there is a barrier to entry. Going to college, getting your master's, getting your PhD,
and working then getting at a research lab, like
right, and then getting that on your belt, and
getting the funding
a few
there,
papers, co-author with a few papers. There's a lot of just bullshit. Which in the past, obviously it wasn't as hard because we didn't have as much, but now we have so much, and it just makes sense to we've really tried to refine everything to be as perfect and as efficient as it can, and as we will. And so what comes out is just like, we hope is the best.
I think also he I mean, some of the policy that he promotes, I feel like is contrary to what conclusions he wants.
I mean, he's probably he'll probably say that, and then you say that, and he's like, "Well, that's not what I mean."
Yeah, no. And then he'll argue that cutting taxes for corporations would help this, and I would argue that on the before the 1970s, a lot of companies had huge research wings. Take for example Bell Labs at AT&T. They developed the transistor. They developed C language that is making this computer work right now, and then even at Exxon, like even at these huge oil and gas companies, at Exxon they had a division where they were working on batteries, and so that's where they developed lithium ion batteries. And so when these corporations have incentives to stop paying taxes, right, in the form of write-offs through research and development, they'll do that. But 100%. If they're able to get these tax breaks, if they're able, they're just going to return that money to the shareholders or pay executives more. And so, I don't know. I think he is interesting. Also, he runs fucking Palantir, which controls. It's a huge data science company that literally controls probably all of the information that we're producing right now. And so, monitor us all day. But so I don't know. Cool figure though. He's a cool cat, but we'll see what happens to him.
I'm officially in the MS program.
Oh yeah. Hey, good shit, man. Well, there you go. Now you're on the track to promoting technological progress. And then we're going to our last topic. This is going to be topic number 4. We're discussing the economics of dating. Gen Z is having a tough time with bitches, man.
Oh.
How does it feel? Gen Z, kind of younger people in the...
It's hard to say, man. It's really hard to say. This is like a tricky question. It's very open-ended. It's very broad. I'm going to lean in for this one, But
I mean, you have a lot of direct experience with this, so I feel like you could help out.
I mean,
well.
As do you.
Yeah.
We both do.
Yeah.
I would say we're moderately attractive. I don't know. So there's a whole economic model that you can model dating. You can start with the conceptual model, and it's very simple. Well, first you got to start with the question. What even makes it? What even makes it? How can you reference economics? How does it pertain to economics? And you ask yourself this question: like, what is the most scarce resource?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Labor.
No.
What's the most scarce? Women.
2 more guesses. The most scarce resource. It's not necessarily tangible. but it's something everyone has. But okay, I'm not describing it correctly. It's time. Time is the most scarce resource. And so
I'm retarded.
Yeah.
Dude, also but yeah, keep going.
It may not be frozen for the video, but so yeah, the most scarce resource is time, and so it's very important who we decide to date. Or so we think, and so that pressure is established on us in our definitely in our mid-20s, later 20s. It really gets there. Time is ticking. Opportunity cost. Oh, I don't want to talk to myself about this. This buddy went. But yeah, I got into. Well, I mean, I was gonna get in. I'm not gonna lie, but so not really a shock. Look forward to hearing back from you. What should I say? Let's talk post grad. Interesting. I imagine considering different ways to launch a meaningful career after graduation. External sender, and then we also got a grade back. Do we want to see it? Let's check our grade out. Took a pretty big exam today. God, it was a bitch. Okay, I got a 95 on that assignment. Yeah, it was took Econ 611 today. That's one of my grad classes actually. It's very cool, very conceptual. I gotta hand it to the professor. I really like him. Oh, got our host back with us. Maybe his camera will turn on. Loading in, maybe. But yeah, I really gotta hand it to the professor. He does a great job, Mr. Pedro. There we are. Hey, man.
Hey,
you there?
I think we need to. Okay. We definitely need to use maybe some different recording software later. But okay, we'll cut. Okay.
No, I was kind of.
You're riffing. Talking. Okay, cool.
I was riffing.
Yeah. But, sorry, my
but
computer.
about unrelated stuff.
Yeah.
But back to what we were talking about. So yeah, it's the most scarce resource. So what we want to do is use our time wisely. And so you kind of think about what you would do when you're approaching someone, and when you're approaching a girl. It changes, but not really. It's very simple in the beginning. You see someone, they look attractive, and there's also some heuristics to go with it. You've got you've got your level of confidence. It is often said that the more confident you are, the more attractive you're perceived, et cetera, et cetera. But let's say you see a chick, you think she's attractive, you're more than likely going to go up to her, or your chances of going up to her and talking to her are higher, et cetera, et cetera. And that's how you go about the conceptual model. And I feel like that's basically what happens day to day. And I personally don't think, I don't know, I go to Texas A&M, and so I'm around a lot of young people, and even our friend group is around a lot of young people too. And we usually don't necessarily have trouble finding women that we are attracted to and want to talk to and have conversations with.
Yeah.
It's but then it's that second stage that where trouble arises. Okay, it's do we have meaningful conversation? Do I want to take things to the next level with you, et cetera, et cetera? But I don't know. What do the statistics say about Gen Z?
Yeah, well, I think, I mean, like we said earlier, like a lot of this like circles back to economics. Like it isn't all determined by economics. There is a ton of, of it, which is confidence, attractiveness, blah, blah, this and that. But like economics being in your favor isn't a bad thing. So back in the day, there was actually a pay gap and men made a little bit more than women or whatever. But now people think that this is still a thing. And new labor statistics, my bad, have came out saying that the roles have actually reversed for the latest generation. So for Gen Z, women and especially college educated women make a lot more than men, and so this flips the dynamic.
But in aggregate, the pay gap still exists.
Yeah. Like if you're looking at the society as a whole, it exists, but for Gen Z specifically,
for Gen Z specifically, and then college educated people,
which makes sense graduates. Because a lot of women, they have experience with this, especially in college. They flourish in corporate environments, and men are a little more, they're more antsy, more impulsive, willing to take risks. And this is good, you know, if you're maybe in entrepreneurship or doing something like in the army, or I guess, I don't know. But if you're in a corporate environment, it very much goes against that. And so, you know, I understand. And women, so women actually out earn men on average. And women, usually they want to date up. They want to date somebody that has it going for them, somebody that's attractive, somebody that's tall, somebody that is making good money, you know, somebody has their life together. And that's just, there's just less men like that.
This is all scientifically backed too. I actually, over the summer, I read a few experimental economics papers, specifically about the pay gap. Though the prime cause, or the root of it, that the study kind of determined, was that women will not ask for as much when negotiating their salary. They'll usually ask under. And also, there was another implication that, like you said, women want to date someone who's making more than them. Well, women don't like to seem like they're too ambitious, because they think that men think that that's kind of unattractive, and they're less willing to find a partner if they seem too ambitious, you know, too CEO style. You know those female CEOs, and you see all those TikToks about the CEO females. I mean, personally, I don't think it's all that attractive, although I could definitely get behind it. You know what I mean? But I mean, ask yourself that question when you see a real, not necessarily, like, I love a go-getting girl, don't get me wrong, but do I want a, you know, a power freak or a megalomaniac? You know?
No, well, women,
but no one really wants that.
No, I mean, but to like kind of straighten up the record, all the women I've worked with have been amazing. Like in school and in corporate environments, even in like just side jobs. I mean, they're great. You know, real cool. But at the end of the day, you know, women, maybe it's a religious thing, I don't know, but they're just better around kids. I mean, I even notice, I have a son, and he kind of gravitates to his mom, and just because it's just a kid. I mean, kids love their mom. I don't know. It's just they're very, you know, caring, but being
that nurturing side of it.
Yeah, being a like really cutthroat and really, I mean, it goes exactly against that ethos. And so I think they're in a tough position, but they do out earn men, which is crazy. And so that's why you're seeing a lot of this like anti DEI, anti shit, because to be honest, we really don't need DEI anymore. Everybody's equal, or like at least even some people.
There's equal opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, on the aggregate, there definitely is like times when people don't.
No, it's funny. I read another experimental economics study, and it was about Airbnb and whether, I think it was the responsiveness or the willingness to book people of color, et cetera, et cetera. And it had to do with framing heuristics and how something's framed. It was some kind of heuristic stuff. But I mean, I'm by no means a libtard, but it was just interesting because, you know, this vetting still exists. I mean, I would very much so stereotype people, you know, and that's just me on a daily basis. You know, I'm not hateful, but I will stereotype, and that's just something that comes up out of me. And people will naturally do that until maybe down the line, it is just, there are no colors and we're all the same color, you know, and
we're all robots.
Who knows?
Peter Thiel.
Or robots. Yes, we're all cyborgs.
Yeah. Transhumanism. Yeah, this is also, I think social media affects this too. Like, bro, girls get so much, like, I feel like they get so much more attention on well, certain men get a lot more, right? Like, I guess if you're popular, but like,
if you have a nice Insta and you're a chick,
it's over. It's over. Just look at their DMs.
Rolling.
It's
you're
raps.
Rolling. It is raps, but that also kind of puts an incentive out there for men to really be that gem, that diamond in the rough, of a really nice Instagram,
whatever, like, it takes.
Yes, because then, I mean, women are probably tired of just getting hit up all the time in the DMs. At a certain point, you have to, right?
Yeah.
It gets annoying. You're bugging me so much, but who knows? It just all depends on the perspective that our society as a whole have on women. And so do we objectify them? And if they become a complete object, is that the role that they're going to fulfill from here on out? And if that's so, then they're going to be conditioned into that role. And is their presence on social media, is that an exemplification of objectification?
Yeah.
And are they being conditioned into that role? I would say so. I would definitely say so.
I mean, what posts do well on social media? The bikini post.
Right.
Like in that,
when you look hot as fuck,
inherently objectifying. But I don't know. It has helped out a lot of women. They are, a lot more tapped in now. I guess they have a lot more moves. Maybe it's done well, but that's gonna be it. I think that's pretty much it. We had a good little dialogue. Next week, we're going to be talking about some other topics as well. We're going to throw fantasy football in there. Make sure to subscribe. If you're just tuning in, make sure to go down there and throw a like. Help out some fellow Gen Zers.
Guys. Guys, and a working man and a college forever kind of guy,
I'm excited, dude. I'm excited. This is going to be coming out on Thursday, on the October 2nd.
Today is 9/30, 2025. It is 5:24 p.m. I've got a cram for an exam tomorrow, and I've got a bunch of statistics homework.
Good luck. You're fucked.
You're fucked. Man, the one thing, my biggest weakness is women.
Is being gay.
I'm a sucker for women.
Wait, guys, he announced he's gay.
Wait, I'm gay. I'm actually gay.
Wait, clip that.
No,
clip
dude,
that.
no,
Chat.
No. I was at Pluckers with Malachi, and we were talking to our waiter or whatever, and we were just having a bunch of conversations. Whatever. She was a nice gal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I try to make like a gay joke or something, and I'm like, yeah, me and him are dating, when she's like over there talking to her friend while she's talking to us, and they just give us like this really weird look, and it's like, damn, I guess the sarcasm didn't really hit. And I'm pretty sure they thought we were actually gay, because I mean, hey, it's two guys with curly hair. I'm wearing like short shorts. He's wearing short shorts. I mean, I could see both of us looking gay as fuck. And so that moment.
You got kicked out of Pluckers.
I got kicked out of Pluckers after that.
I'm not allowed back. It's over. Yeah, no. Well, that's wraps. Car Baby Podcast, episode 2.
Yeah.
GG's, peace.
Taco Tuesday.
Take it easy.